Meeples, episode 63. I'm Adam.
I'm Ian.
I'm Brian.
I'm Patrick.
Before we get into our game this week, first we'd like to welcome you back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus.
A
little bit. But if you could go over to our Facebook page, make sure you're liking us over there. Check out our YouTube channel. We have a Twitter account, which has been inactive for a while, but hopefully we'll get that back moving. And even a Pinterest account.
For the ladies.
We got everything. So go to our channels, like us, subscribe to us, check out our old videos and our upcoming videos, and follow along.
This week's game of the week is Kerfuffle. It is a dice game, and it can be found at most major retailers. But basically what it is you have 4 colors. Each player has their own pool of dice. It's 25 dice per player. We don't have them all sitting out just to save space here. So one's white, blue, red, green, you get the idea. And on your turn, you can take the one yellow die, and you roll it, and that's... I get a roll. That tells you how many dice you get to roll from your 25 and try to play. So let's say I got a higher roll, 4. I get to draw 4 from my pool. You roll your dice, you keep your hand, and then you look at the board here. Now, the board has 5 places that say Kerfuffle, and you have to start on one of those spots. Once other people have played and it starts to build out, which you'll see in a second, then you can either play off one of the other Kerfuffle spots, or you can play off the dice already existing on the board. You have to either play pair or more, meaning a bunch of 2s in a row, a bunch of 3s in a row, or a straight of 3 or more. For instance, I rolled, actually really nicely, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since that's a straight of 4, I can play 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, I was able to play all my dice. Sometimes you might roll and you may not be able to play all of your dice, in which case those go back in your pool. You might roll and not be able to play at all, in which case you don't get to place any of your dice. Adam will demonstrate now. The blue player would go.
So I rolled a 3, so I get 3 of my dice. And then I got a 6, 2, and 3. And I can lay the 3 next to the other 3 there, and the 6 next to the other 6 there, and then I can continue the straight that Ryan started, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Awesome.
That's basically it.
Yeah, they just start to slowly build out, and again, you can jump to one of the Kerfuffle spots, and first one out of dice, first one to use all 25 of their dice wins the game. Now, you might notice that there's a deck of cards here. That's an optional, very stupid rule in my opinion. At the beginning of your turn, you can draw a card, and you have to play or do whatever it says during your turn. So this card says whistle while you work, meaning you are supposed to whistle the entire time you're playing your turn. So if you can't whistle, I guess you can't play.
Question, does that make, if you don't do that, do you lose your turn?
I believe that's the rule, yeah, if you get called out on it. You can only use the even-numbered rolled dice on this turn. So some of them actually pertain to the game and make it more difficult. There are stupid ones. I think there's one in here that says something like, you can only answer every question asked of you during your turn with dirty diapers or something. I mean, it's just...
What's stupid about that?
Yeah.
That is comedy.
So
Classic.
really, I would save those for if you're playing with young children.
What's it rated?
I think a
PG?
kindergartner could play this because it would be you're working on counting skills, and absolutely that'd be a good thing, I think.
Sure.
So I'd say 5 and up probably. They'll need a little help.
That's basically the rules of the game. Pretty straightforward. Not a lot to it there.
Okay, so let's talk about components.
Lots of dice.
Yeah. There's 3 things. Dice, which are just your basic dice with pips on them. There's something special about them. A plastic game board, which is nice because the dice fit in there. So they fit in there and they lock in nicely. The cards are there for what they are, so it's a really
mini
basic
cards.
system.
The cards, they're an odd size. Not that you'd want to sleeve and save these stupid things anyway, and they're really crappy quality. If we're being perfectly honest, the cards are pretty lacking.
How much was the game, though? Do you remember?
Oh, I want to say you can find it for like in the $20 to $25 range. I love the board.
Fair, yeah.
The fact that it locks everything in place, and you can move this and they don't budge.
And it's so funky.
I told you that. And
You like the color?
Oh, yeah, the ones I can make out.
the funky shape.
The colorblind guy is head.
Yeah, the colorblind guy is making comments on color.
I mean, they're nice dice, though. You know, for what they are. They're nothing fancy. They're not painted on. They're kind of
They're
indented,
engraved, yeah.
engraved.
They're not going to wear off anytime soon.
Good thing new.
The colors are all easy to tell apart. Can you tell these apart being colorblind?
Yeah,
no,
oh, yeah,
honestly.
no, I totally
They
got
seem
this.
very different.
Nailed it out. That's black. That's orange.
No, you're right.
Nope, you nailed it.
That's yellow. Mellow, yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much components for this game. Not much to it.
Go ahead.
Strategy. Wow. Play what you have as much as you can. I mean, that's really just, you pretty much have to lay out everything you can on every single roll.
You need to plan out every yellow die roll. Perfectly.
Yeah, don't ever get a 1
You know,
because you're pretty
there's
much
just
gonna set yourself
a
back.
little bit of luck in this game.
Yeah,
Just a little.
Well, it's so hard to pre-plan a strategy around something that's completely random.
Yeah, that's one of the, we'll get likes and dislikes before, but the strategy, play all your dice. Well, that is the game. You have to play all of your dice that you can. I mean, it's not like, oh, I can play all of my dice. I'm going to hold one back.
You got about
really look over the board and really make sure you're
you got about
making the appropriate
You got about
move.
3 minutes to guess what his likes and likes are going to be.
Yeah.
Likes and dislikes are going to be.
Yeah, I will throw out, there are a few decisions to be made. You can get to the point where you can block other people's plays, as you can see the way things are building out, or for instance, I'm trying to think here.
How to pair them up, if you want to pair them up. I say that you have 2 decisions to play this game or not to. That's really a decision.
There are times where you can block. There's also times where, if you...
Like if you do it, I think we had this in one game where you spaced it out amongst and then you lock that into the idea that you have to be able to make that run, and you also, we had it built out to where you couldn't do past a 4 on one because
you're going to have to have a pair in order to make this work, or you're going to have to perfectly build it.
And for instance, the way this one's growing out, pretty soon you're really cramped in other areas. So it's pretty weak, but you can play the board in such a way that you can possibly prevent other people from playing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's all, 90%.
Yeah, you just really have to really think about the board placement, what's out there, and what you currently just rolled. I mean, you can't, even if you show straight on yours, that's not really what lays on the board. Maybe you need to just pair everything off, because in certain groups you've paired off all 4s, you paired off all 6s, you paired off, just run with those, and just make sure you can play every single one of your dice.
Okay.
So now we're moving on to our likes and dislikes. I like the components and I like the price point. It's a fairly inexpensive game, and like we said, the board locks everything in. These dice, they're going to last forever. You can play this thousands of times. It's not like they're going to wear down or anything, so the components is probably its strongest suit.
And one I'm going to throw out there before you jump into your diatribe over here is, this is a game where you can play, and if you just want kind of a time filler. You want to sit around, you want to talk with your buddies, you don't want to play something too deep, requiring too much thinking. Kerfuffle is great.
Kerfuffle!
And you always...
Kerfuffle, Brian?
No. You always need a filler game like that. Everybody needs games like this on their shelf anyway for, like he said, if we're waiting for somebody else to show up for game night, we can play a quick game of this.
It also plays with a wide age range. You can play with,
I guess
people that aren't big into
5
games.
to 99 is
that's what we decided. That covers most of the
If you're 100 years
population.
old and watching this, congratulations, you're using the internet.
Now, while they're blowing sunshine up this game's dress, I want to say that I did not like anything about this.
Can I make my likes and dislikes first?
Yeah,
before
go
you
ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead, because there's a lot of sunshine up on this.
We love it!
The dice game, being that this is a lower age range kind of game, to kind of maybe bring them into the genre of
your kids do not count either. Your kids are not normal.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say they should make the dice a little more fun, bigger, or something like that, especially for $20 to $25 range. If you're talking 10 to 15, yeah, this is spot on. But I mean, I think that price point is a little higher. I know other games out there in the area is that for $20, $25 are actually much.
You can get more in-depth
games or more game to it than this. I think this is a $10 to $15 price point.
It's a one-trick pony. Is that what you're saying?
It's dice that you could probably buy all this for 99 cents on sale, and then make your own board.
If you're looking for a game with lots of decisions, lots of strategy, lots and all that.
Lots.
Yeah.
Any decisions, any strategy. This game has.
I'm gonna go get a soda.
Yeah, you might order some pizza. It's gonna be wild. I'm gonna make this quick. This game, there's no decisions to really make. You can say, well,
okay, I want to make my point.
There's strategy of pairing it up. No, really, you have the dice. You have to put them somewhere on the board. You really don't have any decisions. You play what you can. This stupid dice tells you how many you play. Whoever rolls the highest on this is gonna win, because most of the time they're gonna be able to play the most dice in most cases. There's no strategy. There's no strategy. There is nothing you really do. The dice plays everything for you. You just place where you can. There's actually no redeeming qualities about this as a game.
You don't see a place for this type of game.
No, I don't. I think that Yahtzee is even a better game, because you actually have to make a choice and re-roll things. This, you roll once and you say, crap, I just have to put them on a board now.
Well, I think there's
This is.
I
Well,
don't see
Yahtzee,
it being-
Yahtzee outsells this.
I know,
rightfully
and there's
so.
a good reason for it.
Well, I
Because this
think-
is a horrible game.
I think that this has an individual problem-solving skill, and that's the only element of this game that actually is fun, because you're really just battling yourself to try to figure out what lays on the board. You're saying,
I can see
I rolled all of these, and I got to
Six.
problem solve and figure out what goes in the board. I mean, I think I was I thought it was so random how I was placing on the board just to fit everything
Yeah,
in.
but the thing
especially
is-
at the higher numbers
But you
later
had,
in the game.
but you had no choice. You had to fit them in somewhere.
Right, but
or,
later in the game,
Or
if
you
you
don't get a
roll a
place.
hir number,
Yeah.
and there's a lot less spots to
yeah,
fill.
that's just
it's
it.
harder
You
to
don't
do.
have any choices to make still, because there's still less spots to fill. The board game tells you what you do anyways. So there is really still no decision made for you. So there's no.
I'm gonna make the
faulty
decision
this
for you
game.
that you love this game.
You can think you made the decision.
I'm gonna buy this
want.
for your birthday for the next 14 years.
Awesome. Lots of kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle!
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Should we
Anyways,
move on to our final reviews?
oh yes, please,
We're beating
please
a dead
do.
horse here.
This is painful.
Sorry. So our final reviews, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being greatest game ever made, go out and buy it immediately. Ian, kick us off.
I'm gonna go with a 4. It was just a space filler. I mean, and really it fills your space on the shelf. To be a Debbie Downer with, I know Pat is going to be, it was really fun to roll the dice. I mean, and that's, most board game people like that. So that was kind of the fun part.
That's the whole review.
That was,
I like to roll dice. Welcome, we roll dice.
I like squiggles.
I'm a little bit higher than that. I'll give it a 5. It's just a so-so game.
Coming down on me, and you went 1 point ahead.
I know. Well, here's the thing.
Kerfuffle!
Below 5 starts to imply that something's broken, and there's nothing. The rules make perfect sense. It's easy to pick up and play. Nice components. And again, I do like that it plays with, my 7-year-old daughter now, but she was 6 when we first got this. She could play and pick it up no problem, and so it's just a good game for, there are times you have non-gamers come over, relatives stay with you, playing with your children, and you do need games like this, especially what Pat says, this, Yahtzee, stuff like that. There's a place on your shelf for it, so there's nothing broken about it. It makes perfect sense. It's light fun. You can talk and kick back and just enjoy each other's company while you play.
Well, would you say this is kind of like a board-based dominoes?
Similar, very similar, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it well enough. It's okay. I wouldn't play it too often, though.
I'm going to go with 5 too, to be honest. It's middle of the road, okay game. Yeah, you're on the low end. Don't worry though. That still has to go.
You'll be bringing up the average in a second.
But it's I really can't say much more than what's been said, other than we didn't have to go back to the rule book on this one. No checking out the rules.
No,
This
we
one's
didn't. But
straightforward.
we also didn't play half the game.
Oh yeah.
With the cards, you mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
why can't we whistle while we work?
Would that
You
have
should
raised that
read
your
some of
review?
those other cards. You
No.
should read them.
No, you wouldn't have brought it up.
No, I hate stupid gimmicks.
It's
Yeah, then that's what those are.
it's a game where you can pull it out for anybody. Anybody can play it, and it's a lot of fun as a time filler for what it is. If you're looking for anything in depth, obviously you're not going to enjoy this, but I think it's a solid 5.
Wow.
And that's all we have time for. Thank you.
I hate doing this because I love games, but I have to give this one a 3. There's nothing physically there's nothing wrong with it, but there's not really a game here. You roll the dice tell you on the board tell you what to do. It's kind of like life with the spinner. You just
Do you have
do
things
it
telling you what to do a lot?
No, there's nothing really to this, and therefore I hate doing it. I hate scoring board games that low, but this one I have to. I just give it a 3. That's all I can give it.
What would you compare if the game of War with cards? Very similar. Because you really have no choice in that one. It's just random luck.
Yeah, it's random luck in that
And
one.
you're just playing.
So War is a 3. Can we hold you to that?
War's a 3.
All right.
War's a
all
3.
right.
It's yeah. There's just not much to it. It's there. So that's my review.
Well, that is our review of Kerfuffle.
Thank you for watching Kerfuffle. Tune in next